Hello, everyone. My name is Kendra Gaunt, and today I'll be presenting my research on AI-driven adaptive learning systems for college to career transitions. And this project is part of my coursework for EME 6055, Current Trends in Instructional Technology at the University of South Florida. The problem we're tackling is that traditional higher education relies on standardized approaches, and that's just not cutting it anymore when it comes to career preparation. AI offers a promising solution, which is dynamic assessments, personalized learning pathways, and continuous feedback mechanisms. And throughout my research, I drew on connectivist learning theory, social constructivism, and L'Oreal's conversational framework. At the same time, concerns around data privacy, algorithmic bias, and the loss of human connection must be thoughtfully addressed, which we'll also explore in this presentation. The future classroom won't be about passive content delivery anymore. Instead, students will engage in guided discovery. Standardized tests will be replaced with continuous adaptive assessments, and fixed timelines will give way to personalized progress-based advancement. And we're already seeing this happen. Universities that have implemented adaptive systems have already seen improvements, like 20 to 30% increases in retention rates and higher student satisfaction. And really, there are four major AI technologies shaping this future. We've got machine learning to detect student strengths, weaknesses, and optimal learning paths. Natural language processing, or NLP, to engage students in conversational assessment rather than static tests. Third, we have recommendation systems that suggest tailored activities and career pathways based on a student's unique context. And then finally is predictive analytics to flag struggles early and suggest timely interventions at the right time, in the right moment, in the right place. Together, these tools allow education to respond to students in real time, creating an environment that grows as they do. So you might be asking, what are the benefits? The first is personalization at scale, which means helping thousands of students without overwhelming staff. Currently, there are very high student to counselor ratios, which means that students very rarely, if at all, get to have continuous support from their career advisor, with a lot of their meetings being concentrated either at the beginning or the end of their academic journey, not so much of the stuff in between. Second is continuous engagement. So again, career readiness becomes a journey, not a one-time meeting. Third is real-world insights. Students can actually get information based on current job market data, not outdated statistics or information. Then is reduced bias. So skill-based, data-driven recommendations might minimize unconscious counselor biases. And then finally is broader access. So students who might never seek help in person can engage through digital platforms. And, I have many hypotheses to why students might not be engaging. They might be a first generation college student who just doesn't have the framework or the blueprint or even the social capital to activate and, know which questions to ask to which people. There also may be some students who might be a bit more reserved or shy and are maybe not as comfortable engaging when they're not really sure how to start. And this can help them gain that confidence and figure out what questions they need to be asking themselves and what questions they can bring to their human counselor to help them on their career readiness journey. But we also cannot ignore some of the really serious challenges that, people are grappling with every day. First is protecting student data through transparent policies in terms of, how is the, artificial intelligence or machine learning model leveraging the student data, i.e., their input to form and surface those recommendations? And is that something the student is consenting to? Then is preventing algorithmic bias from perpetuating existing inequalities. And those inequalities could look like incomplete or skewed data sets when you have people who have been historically excluded from certain industries or roles, and therefore that bias is reflected in the data, which is then used to make recommendations. Third is avoiding over reliance on AI at the expense of human empathy. Because, yes, while AI can surface insights and gaps a lot quicker, it's really that human career advisor that really makes a student feel seen and heard and can continue to motivate them to take action on those recommendations. Next is bridging the digital divide to ensure all students can benefit. And then finally is maintaining trust through explainable, transparent AI systems. And these systems must support and not replace human career development work, which is inherently a very relationship oriented aspect of career development. And based on my research, here's how educational technologists can build these systems ethically and effectively. First is having a human in the loop design, which is where we blend AI scalability with human empathy. This means that there is a human who is reviewing the output of the AI, of the machine learning model to ensure that it is contextually relevant to that student and also considers the student's unique background and nuances that are going to be very difficult, if not impossible, for a model to truly understand and empathize with because it is not a human. Then we have progressive microassessments. So these are frequent, low stakes evaluations instead of this one time snapshot assessment. Then is algorithmic transparency, so explaining AI decisions in plain language that is accessible for everyone, regardless of your knowledge of AI. Then we have an equity first architecture. So we really need to audit algorithms regularly and use diverse data sets that represent the people that are being served by the technology. Then there's dynamic feedback loops, so letting student profiles evolve with ongoing interaction. Then we have authentic assessment. So this is focusing on real world projects, not just quizzes. And then finally is cross-institution collaboration. This is where we should share anonymized data and best practices to accelerate sector-wide progress. And here's why we can't afford to stick with the status quo. Only 17% of students today find career services very helpful, which indicates to me that this is a really important problem for us to solve. And some students, like first generation students who I work with on a daily basis in particular, are being left behind. And so an AI-driven adaptive system can offer the chance for ongoing guidance instead of a few rushed meetings and personalized career exploration instead of cookie cutter advice. But for this vision to work, institutions themselves must transform, which is arguably, I think, going to be one of the more difficult tasks of this work. And so, first, institutional courage is needed. Colleges must let go of outdated metrics such as retention and graduation rates and GPAs and focus on true career readiness. Second, faculty roles must evolve from information delivery to mentorship and coaching. Third, a renewed social contract is needed where education is seen as a bridge to lifelong career adaptability, not just degree completion, which gets back to the letting go of outdated success metrics. And then finally, institutional survival is at stake. In an era where more and more people are skeptical about getting degrees or the quality of the education or what it means to hold a degree, adapting to these models is not just a bonus, it's essential to staying relevant. And then to wrap it up, I just want to say this is more than just about technology. It's about redefining the way we support students as they grow into their careers. AI can help personalize, adapt, and democratize career readiness, but it must be used thoughtfully with human judgment and empathy at the core. And if we get this right, we won't just prepare students for their first job, we'll prepare them for a lifetime of learning, growth, and adaptability. Thank you.